Okay. So cost is one disadvantage. Okay, that the initial investment is quite high, but the later, later what you have is, because more units being produced, more units are being produced, and that's how you are able to decrease the unit product cost. But nonetheless, you still require an initial investment. Okay, greater initial investment. Skills loss. As the demand for manual machine operator decreases, fewer and fewer new students adopt those skills. So this could eventually lead to the complete loss of long preserved skills. Have you understood what that point is trying to say?
Yes, sir.
What does that say?
People who train for those manual operation skills will be reduced.
Not just reduced, they will be lost. You see that point that was emphasized, that because you do not have that transfer to the next generation, right? The newer generation will only know how to operate the CNC machine. You don't have that art of operating the that lathe machine, as I was mentioning, right? To be able to handle different feed rates and depth of cuts at the same time, right? So that those skills will be lost because of CNC technology. That's what is being trying to say as a disadvantage. Other thing is unemployment. Automation decreases the need for manpower and fewer laborers are hired. That said, the need is now shifting to software engineers and mechanical engineers, and education and training will have to adjust to meet that need. So what they are saying is, we know that there is a decrease in the manpower requirement, isn't it, because of CNCs? What they're trying to say is, there should be a shift, okay, that only those skills which are required, okay, as for the CNC technology, those should be sought. Okay, software engineers who are able to produce better softwares in terms of that part programming, right? And also to be able to optimize the machine. Okay, how should I better write a program or algorithm, okay, for the machine to function? And mechanical engineers to be able to automate that, okay, to be able to come up with machines that are optimized, okay, reduced cost, to be able to come up with machines that are having lesser number of parts and which are costing less. Also to be able to operate in the sense of production engineers, okay, to be able to see that. So all of that shift has to be there, is what is being said. Okay, doubts? No doubts? Okay. You see, as I was saying, you had initially numerical control machines, right? Electric control based on paper tape, hardwired CPU, TNC. Okay. So what you had was initially numerical control with input as punch tapes, right? And then what we now have is firstly DNC and CNC also. In CNC, as we had discussed, that each CNC has its own computer or CPU, right? Maybe retrofitted. Okay, if it is not there, then we can make a change, right? Production continues if central CPU goes down. So because each individual machine has its own processing unit, okay, which will decide what operations are to be performed, how are they to be executed. So even if the central CPU goes down, okay, let's first discuss DNC. The format is correct. You see, in DNC, you have a single fast mainframe computer. Okay, there is one mainframe computer. Okay, let me annotate. Okay, there is one mainframe computer. Okay, and you have several different CNCs attached to it. Okay, So this mainframe computer is sending out instructions to all these three, okay, CNCs. So if that central computer goes down, okay, because of some malfunction, okay, all these are CNCs, okay. So if that central computer goes down, then all of these machines have to stop, isn't it? So that's one disadvantage, okay. In one sense, that's a disadvantage, that because of mainframe computer going down, you cannot have production going on, okay. So in case of direct numerical control, you have a single mainframe computer, central control of each NC machine, okay, time sharing. So each, I'm sorry, I should write NC here, not CNC, okay. Otherwise they are able to produce it, right? They're able to continue even if this goes down. A CNC, as we have seen, has its own computer. So even if this mainframe is not connected, the CNC will continue functioning. It is a problem with NC, okay. I should write NC here, NC. So several NC computers are connected to one, I'm sorry, several NC machines are connected to one mainframe computer, right? And that mainframe computer is sending out instructions. So if that goes down, all of these machines will stop. So that's under direct numerical control, okay? But in case of CNC, because each unit has its own computer, that's a single CNC machine having its own computer. So a dedicated computer to send out instructions. So this will not affect any sort of mainframe computer not working will not affect this, isn't it? That's what we mean by DNC and CNC, okay. Is that clear or doubts? No doubts, okay. So each NC machine cable to central CPU CNC, as we saw, right? So that is what comes under DNC. CNC, as we had discussed, has its own CPU. Production continues if central CPU goes down. Distributed or hierarchical numerical control, library of programs centrally maintained, distributed production data acquisition, and central database, centralized production control adapting to changing conditions, limited loss of production if central CPU is down. So in here, even if the central CPU goes down, you still have a limited loss of production, okay. Not all systems will stop, okay. So because you have library of programs centrally maintained, okay, those can be sent out. Distributed production data acquisition and central database. So the acquisition in the sense collecting of that data, okay, that is distributed under distributed or hierarchical numerical control, okay. So these are different technologies, okay, that we have that comes under NC, okay. Started all with an NC machine, and then you have all these as we had advanced through age, okay. Applications you have under machining, turning, lathe, turning center, okay. Machining centers you have milling, okay. Turning machines, milling machines, right? As for forming, you have plasma and laser cutting, okay. Even there are CNC machines for laser cutting also. We'll see. I believe laser cutting is there. Yes. You see, so that is your display unit, okay. It contains a CPU as well for sending the control instructions to the tool. So that tool will cut, right? That's what it's meant to do. That is laser cutting. With the help of that laser, a laser will be installed in that tool as a tool. So that will cut. So in place of milling or turning, you have laser cutting being done here with the help of a CNC. Blanking, nibbling, and punching, even those machines are there. Rapid prototyping, in the sense that what do you call or let us have a different discussion on that. Okay, because we are now discussing subtractive ones, right? Subtractive manufacturing. So we'll see that. Okay. So those were the examples. Okay, application CNC turning, right? That's the example of a CNC turning machine. We have milling machine. We already saw that in the video, right? A milling machine. How is it? How that tool is able to move in different axes. Okay. And then CNC laser cutting. Okay, so that ends your CNC discussion. Okay, if there are any doubts, you can ask either unmuting or in the chat. Okay, then. So next topic is programmable logic controllers. Okay, so what we have is basically two topics. Okay, programmable logic controllers, and the other is microcontrollers. Okay, though these two entities, they serve the same purpose. Okay, but let me clarify what we are trying to do in CNC. For controlling that machine tool, we'll use microcontrollers. Okay, not programmable logic controllers, PLC. I believe you had mechatronic systems, right? You people have taken mechatronic systems in the last semester, right? I guess. Was that subject there? Some of you might have taken it, I guess. It was an elective, right? Yes. What? I said you had this. Have you all taken the mechatronics subject in the last semester? Some of you might have taken it, right? Okay. So only some of you have taken it. Because those who took that subject would have definitely learned about this programmable logic controllers. Okay. So what? Okay. So as the definition says, a programmable logic controller, PLC, can be defined as a digitally operating electronic apparatus or microcomputer based controller is what we can call, that uses stored instructions in programmable memory to implement logic sequencing, timing, counting, and arithmetic functions through digital or analog input output modules for controlling machines and processes. So that's a comprehensive definition that you have there. So it's a digitally operating electronic apparatus, okay? Or you can call it microcomputer based controller also, isn't it? You have a microcomputer installed that will execute the instructions. So microcomputer based controller that uses stored instructions. Okay, you need to have that as an input. And where does that come from? In programmable memory. Okay, you have to develop that link to be able to comprehensively define. Okay, those stored instructions are in programmable memory, right? And why are they there? To implement logic sequencing, timing, counting, and arithmetic functions, because that's the inherent part of it, right? Through digital or analog input output modules. So you will have input, okay, to be given to the PLC, and output given by the PLC. So why are they done? I mean, for what are they used? For controlling machines and processes, right? So that's a comprehensive definition. You're trying to control machines and processes with the help of a PLC. Okay, we'll see even a video for this, but I think almost the time is up. So we'll finish this, okay, and then we'll end the class, hopefully. So applications are found in both the process industries and discrete manufacturing. So in process industries, examples are chemical processing, paper mill operations, and food production, right? So you have what do you call in that chemical processing, or even cement, okay? So all those are process-based industries, right? You have a majorly a process going on. So paper mill operations, food production, right? Because of that preparation of that those ingredients, etc. You call it a process industry. So they are found both in process industries and discrete manufacturing industries also. Primarily associated with discrete manufacturing industries to control individual machines, machine cells, transfer lines, material handling equipment, and automated storage system. Okay, all these are places where these are used. Transfer lines, we'll see what are those. I had mentioned, right, in transfer lines that they take components from one workstation to the next. Material handling equipment, okay, you have automated guided vehicles, etc. All of those are coming. These topics are coming. So programmable logic, PLCs are used, okay, for handling all of those machines, okay, and automated storage systems as well. Before the PLC was introduced around 1970, hardwired controllers composed of relays, coils, counters, timers, and similar components were used to implement this type of industrial control. So before PLC were introduced, you had relays, okay, those were hardwired. There were many wires, okay. So all these were being used to implement the same industrial control what we are using now, to implement the same industrial control, okay. But then PLC came. We'll see why those are used, and okay, the different aspects of PLCs. Okay, so you can join your next class. It's already 3, right? I've taken the attendance. Thank you.